The sun rose softly over a quiet valley where everything seemed to sleep beneath the gentle light of dawn. Birds began to chirp, the breeze whispered through pine trees, and in the middle of that peaceful valley stood a grand mountain named Miran. He was tall, proud, and covered in glistening snow that sparkled like diamonds in the early sun. Miran had stood there for thousands of years, watching seasons come and go. He saw the forest grow, the rivers carve their paths, and clouds dance around his peaks. But deep inside, Miran had a secret. Though he looked calm and strong, he often felt still. Too still. Every day, Miran would see the wind twirl with leaves, the rivers shimmer and curve with rhythm, and the animals hop, leap, and run with joy. They all seemed to be dancing to a tune he could not hear. And though he was made of stone and earth, Miran longed for one thing. He wanted to dance.
"Mountains give shelter," said the trees. "They don't dance." "You hold the sky, Miran," said the clouds. "You must stay still for us to rest upon you." "You give me shade," said the river. "If you move, I'll lose my way."
So Miran stayed where he was, tall, silent, and unmoving. Yet every night, when the moon rose and the stars winked above, he would close his eyes and imagine. He imagined what it would feel like to sway like the tall grasses in the meadow, to spin like the clouds, to flow like the rivers. He would imagine lifting his rocky feet, bending his snowy shoulders, and twirling until the whole valley laughed with joy. But when the morning came, he would open his eyes and sigh. The valley was the same. He was the same. One spring morning, something strange happened. The snow on his peak began to melt faster than ever before. Streams of water trickled down his sides, forming new rivulets that shimmered under the sun. Miran could feel them moving, gliding down his rocky body, singing as they went.
"Ha!" he boomed in surprise.
"What was that?" whispered the pine trees.
"I don't know," said the river. "I think Miran laughed."
Miran had never laughed before. It was a deep, rumbling laugh that made pebbles tumble down his slopes. The tiny streams giggled back, their waters splashing and twisting as they hurried down to meet the river below.
"Oh, you move so freely, how do you do it?"
We just go where the earth guides us. We dance our way down, and in that dance we give life.
That day, as the streams grew stronger, Miran felt alive. The waters slid through cracks and valleys of his rocky body. The sound of rushing water echoed through the canyon like music. It was as though the whole mountain had found a rhythm. The forest noticed.
"Listen, Miran is singing."
"No, my friend, he's dancing."
But not everyone was happy.
"This isn't right. Mountains aren't supposed to move. If he keeps this up, the rivers might flood."
Let him be. He's found his spirit.
But the clouds were stubborn. They darkened and began to rain. Not the gentle kind, but heavy drops that hit Miran's surface with force. The rivers swelled. The streams rushed faster, louder. The valley trembled under the sound of roaring water.
"Stop! You'll wash everything away!"
The streams tried to slow down, but they were too strong now. Trees were pulled by the roots, stones rolled away, and the river's banks overflowed.
"I only wanted to dance."
"Miran, what are you doing? You're destroying us."
See? This is what happens when mountains forget who they are.
Miran bowed his great head, ashamed. He closed his cracks to stop the water, but the pressure built inside him. The streams knocked against his surface, desperate to flow. He was caught between holding them back and letting them go. And then, silence. For a moment, the rain stopped. The valley waited, listening to the echo of dripping water. Miran took a deep breath.
"I don't want to hurt anyone, but I can't pretend anymore. The rivers inside me need to flow, or they'll drown me from within."
Then let them flow, but guide them. Don't fight their rhythm. Learn it.
Miran thought about that. He listened carefully to the pulse of water within him, the heartbeat of the valley. He realized that dancing didn't mean losing control. It meant moving with purpose, with care. So slowly, carefully, he began to open new paths, gentle curves and channels through his rocks. The water flowed again, but this time smoothly, gracefully, like a melody. The river below widened but stayed within its banks. The forest drank the moisture, Flowers bloomed across his slopes, their petals glistening with dew. The valley, once fearful, was now full of color and song.
Perhaps we were too harsh. He is still standing tall, and yet he moves.
And from that day on, Miran no longer felt trapped in stillness. Every spring, as the snow melted and the rivers flowed, he felt the rhythm within him rise. The waters played across his sides like dancers, weaving silver ribbons down his body. The valley began to love this music. Birds sang in tune with the rivers. Deer came to drink from the new streams. Even the trees leaned closer, their roots finding nourishment in the mountain's tears of joy. One evening, as the sun dipped low and the sky turned gold, a little girl from a nearby village came to sit by the river. She watched the water rush and swirl, and looked up at the great mountain.
"Thank you, Miran," she said softly. "Your rivers make our fields green and our hearts happy."
You're welcome, little one, he rumbled gently. It's my dance that gives you life.
The girl laughed. "Then never stop dancing." And he never did.
Seasons passed, the valley thrived. Travelers who came through the region would always speak of the singing mountain, where the streams played music and the wind hummed soft melodies through the cliffs. They didn't know that the mountain itself listened to every note with a heart full of pride and gratitude. Sometimes, in the quiet of the night, when the stars shimmered above and the moon painted his slopes silver, Miran would remember his old fear, that mountains shouldn't move. But now he knew better. He had learned that movement doesn't always mean leaving your place. Sometimes it means allowing others to move through you, to live and grow and find their path. He learned that being strong doesn't mean being still. It means holding steady while embracing change. The rivers that once scared him became his partners in rhythm, flowing with his shape, singing his song. Together they created harmony, one that echoed through every corner of the valley. Years rolled into centuries, and the people who lived nearby passed down stories about the mountain who could dance. Some said they could hear his laughter in the waterfalls. Others swore his heartbeat pulsed in the thunder that rolled through the hills. But the truth was simpler and far more beautiful. Miran danced not with his feet, but with his spirit. His song was in every stream, his joy in every leaf that grew on his slopes, his rhythm in every heart that listened.
One day an old man came to sit by the river with his grandson. The boy asked, "Grandfather, do mountains really dance?"
Not the way we do, he said. But if you listen closely, you'll hear it. The rustle of trees, the gurgle of streams, the hum of wind through the rocks. It's all part of his dance.
The boy listened, wide-eyed. He heard the water chuckle, the breeze hum, and somewhere deep in the distance, the mountain gave a low, contented sigh.
"I hear it," the boy said. "He's dancing."
Yes, and he dances because he learned to let go.
Let go of what?
His fear of change. He thought staying still was his duty, but he discovered that true strength is in flowing with life, not resisting it.
Then I'll learn to dance like him someday.
You already do.
That night, as the valley slept, the moonlight touched the mountain's peak once more. The rivers glowed like threads of silver, weaving patterns down his slopes. It looked as though the whole mountain was moving, slowly, gracefully, beautifully. And in that dance, Miran found peace. He didn't need legs to move, nor arms to sway. His dance was in the giving, the rivers that flowed, the forests that grew, the lives that flourished because he chose to let go. Every drop of water that slid down his face was a step in his eternal rhythm. Every echo that bounced off his cliffs was a beat in his song. He had become one with the valley, one with the rivers, one with life itself. And when the dawn came again, the first rays of light touched his peak like a gentle bow from the sky, an acknowledgement of his dance. The birds began their morning songs, the rivers sparkled awake, and the valley whispered, "Good morning, Miran." The mountain smiled quietly. "Good morning," he replied. "Shall we dance again?" And so, as long as the rivers flowed, as long as the wind sang, and as long as hearts could feel the rhythm of nature, the mountain who once wished to dance continued his timeless waltz with life, steady, graceful, and full of joy. Because sometimes, even the mightiest must learn to move, not to leave, but to live. And in the flow of giving, Miran discovered the dance that never ends.